But I think, God, I really wish that we were able to go into this a week ahead of the console release and be like, this is how I feel about what Microsoft's doing. But we're pretty much just the same way we were over the summer, where we're just like, okay.
Thank you for the black box.
Like,
I will play my Xbox One games on it now.
Yeah, exactly. Which, I mean, it's cool to be like, this is the Xbox box. Kind of. But like, it's just I don't know.
Yeah, the play's not there for me. It's
No.
not. Like I said, I really feel like they were just wanting to put a Halo out and be like, this is where you play the Halos now. And like, Halo!
I mean, honestly, like, I'm more on Microsoft's side than Sony here, which is ridiculous because Sony as a company is not as atrocious as Microsoft. But I'm more in the Microsoft camp. I like more of what they're doing. I like their services. I like all this stuff. But I'm about to build a PC.
Yeah.
So if I'm going to buy one of the consoles in this next generation, I'm buying a PS5.
Yeah. But by building a PC, you're still in Microsoft camp.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. Like, so like, since I'm going to be able to have my Game Pass and everything on the PC that I'm building, and I will be in the Microsoft camp and they will be getting money from me. But when I go to actually buy a console, if I do buy a console this generation, which I'm sure I will, whether it's, in the next couple of years or once things have gotten a lot cheaper, I'm probably going to end up purchasing a PS5. That's going to be the console that sits under my TV.
Right.
Or beside it. Behind it, in the general vicinity, wherever that thing fits.
Like, so I mean, I shit on Xbox for what it brings new to the table, for what's coming out, but I'll go ahead and step back and give it credit for what it's doing for backwards compatibility, because even though it's not a selling point, like it's not the main point on the back of the box that you pick it up for, like the fact that they have auto HDR, even going back to like Xbox original games, that's pretty fucking rad. And I would love to see something like that with Sony's backlog. But it's Sony's like, who cares about all games?
Sony doesn't give a shit about that.
So I definitely give them props for what they're doing for their previous generations, and that's why I will be picking up a Series X secondhand 3 years from now or something. I'm going to buy it to be able to go back and play some classics. Like, of course I'm going to play Silent Hill Downpour with HDR and really fast load times.
Yeah.
But aside from that, there's no sense of immediacy because there's nothing I can't play now.
Yeah, I might end up doing that when my Xbox One breathes its last breath.
Yeah.
Like, just to be like, hey, I'll spend a couple $100 to get my Xbox on my TV back with a little more. Because I know all that backwards compatibility isn't going to necessarily be PC play, but that most of it might end up on xCloud, and then we'll see.
So, I mean, that's pretty much sums up all my feelings on what's going on with the Xbox. I'm glad it's coming out. I wish it had a reason to come out.
Yeah. I feel that. I think that they could have waited another year.
Yeah, absolutely. They could have waited a year.
Yeah, they could have waited. They could have come out. A year gap between major consoles in a generation is not at all unheard of.
Yeah, but people do think that's one of the things that killed the PS3 before it got out of the gates.
Yeah, I mean,
there were other factors, but it did have a year behind the 360.
Yeah, that is true. But at the end of the day, and this isn't 1-to-1. This isn't apples to apples. But the Switch came out like what, 4 years after the Xbox One, and way outsold it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not apples to apples because, I mean, let's be honest. We've talked about before, Nintendo knows their place.
Yeah.
They know that they're not your main console.
Sure, but I'm just saying, and that's something that has stayed, in a $300 price range the whole time. I'm just saying, like, if you've got a product that people want,
Yeah.
it's going to sell,
And
and if
it'll
you,
be rare during a pandemic to find one on shelves.
yeah, yeah. I'm just saying, like a year of being like, let's wait till we got the games, let's wait till we got the catalog, and then maybe we can come out $100 cheaper.
Mm.
You know, I don't know.
But
We
then again, I guess maybe they're afraid of losing that crowd that wanted to play the best version of Madden
yeah,
that year. It's like, I don't know.
I don't know. We didn't even
Uh,
talk about the Series S, other than we've talked about it, and
it's stupid. I hate it. It shouldn't exist.
yep, I think that should have been quashed in the boardroom.
Mhm.
Like, I definitely get the idea. I definitely understand the guy who pitched it. I understand his line of thinking. I don't think it's the dumbest line of thinking, but somebody in product analysis should have been like, "What are we doing?"
Yeah.
I don't really understand the play here. And then somebody in marketing should have been like, "How am I selling this? Can you just not do it?"
Not to say that it's 1-to-1 or anything, but I feel the smarter move because I know they wanted to have the cheapest. It would have been
Mhm.
smarter to just release a discless Series X and sell that for $100. And then you've got, yeah, it's the same parity, but I really don't think this generation anyone's going to be like, I've got to save that $100 to play this new game. Oh shit, I'm playing the same version as the Xbox One X version.
Yeah.
I just really don't get what's happening with the Series S. And that's what I'm most excited to hear about on Tuesday because we haven't heard much about the Series S. Everyone who's got hands on has had hands on with the X.
Yeah.
So once Tuesday hits and we start hearing from the public about how things are playing on the Series S,
Yeah.
that's going to be the true tell of that story. But even the fact that it's a all digital console with 512 advertised, and I think someone said it's about 380 usable out of the box.
Mhm.
Whenever the new Call of Duty takes 100 gigs, that's that's not going to do a whole lot for you.
Yeah, because the kind of people that would be buying that are the kind of people that are just like, I just want to go next gen, and I'm not that worried about it being the most specced out thing because I'm going to be playing this and this, Madden, such and such. And games like Madden, games like Call of Duty are optimized like shit. Those don't actually need to be hundreds of gigs, they just can be.
Right.
And and it saves them time, like cutting it down and compressing and optimizing. So they just throw that shit out the door. And those are the biggest memory hogs. They are the biggest space hogs. Space hogs.
God, what a reference.
But yeah, so you're right. That'll just those big unwieldy bullshit games that everybody loves to buy, they're just gonna soak that up like a sponge.
And the thing is yeah, again, you can upgrade that for the price of a second Xbox Series S.
Yeah, no shit. It's not quite that bad, but it's
Yeah.
bad. Like, it's like 200 and it's north of 200, right? For one of
Yeah.
those things.
But in the meantime, you could go over and just get the digital PS5 that's already got twice the space and it's only
Yeah.
$100 more.
Yeah. Honestly, like a terabyte is bad for these things anyway. Like, I
That,
cannot believe, like, I know the cost cutting reasons and everything,
yeah.
but like a terabyte for next gen is a shit move anyway. So to be like half a terabyte, no.
And yeah, again, it's a new type of memory, so I understand. But your average Joe consumer will not.
Yeah.
They will not be like, why, or they won't say, oh, well, it's only 512 gigs because, it's completely new tech
Yeah.
for, a hard drive. They're just like, that one had a terabyte and it's $200.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah, I mean, I know because it's newer tech, I know all the reasons that they made that choice, but just given the size of games now, they should have tried to have a little more in there. And with the Xbox making their expansions that expensive,
And
when like you have to have them, like you have, like, I wouldn't even say I'm one of the most, hardcore gamers or have the most games, and I have 2.5 terabytes. on my Xbox, and that shit is chewed up. Like I'm getting towards the end of that in a couple years.
Yeah.
2.5 terabytes. That's an external drive and like the 500 that's built into that 1S. And if I'm burning that up, if I'm burning up 2.5 terabytes on this gen, then people that are actually playing shit are gonna burn the hell out of a terabyte built in, and then you're gonna.
And I mean, I'm kind of in the same vein, but thankfully, and not to rub it in or anything, I was blessed with good internet here. So I've gotten to the point where unless I'm immediately going to play it, it's not on my hard drive.
Yeah, and
Like,
we are getting to a point where more and more like fiber optics and gigabit internet is being rolled out in more and more places, and we're just have a healthier, better internet. Like in America, everywhere else it's way better. So maybe swapping things in and out won't be as big of a deal.
but
I still think there's a lot of people that it will be a huge deal for.
yeah, especially like it. If you're one of those guys who's with those motherfuckers at Comcast with the overages.
Oh, yeah.
I had a fight with them recently. But yeah, like you can't have overages in this day and age. Like it's got to be unlimited for home internet, especially with what's going on where everything's just done online now because we're afraid to go hug grandma.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's wild.